Guruji, I wanted to ask you about another problem that I think is very pervasive in this age. It's the conflict in accepting one's own psychophysical nature. Can you shed more light on that, please?
Okay, why don't you spell out what is psychophysical nature?
My understanding of that is how my true nature, my divine architecture, the way I'm designed
Right.
on a mental, emotional, and physical level.
Excellent, excellent. So that's what we can call the divine architecture.
Okay.
The architecture of the body, the architecture of the mind with its various proclivities, the propensities, and the architecture of the emotions, whether you're a very cold person or whether you're a very warm person or whether you're an oversensitive person crying for every damn thing, that kind of a thing. So that's the psychophysical nature of an individual. And I found in my experience that many people are not self-accepting of themselves well enough. That is, they're not completely comfortable with the way the mind is working, with the propensities of the mind, and with the way the emotions are working, and with the way the intellectual faculties are working, and with the way the body looks, and so on. And I think it's very important to come to terms with the divine architecture. And first of all, in our culture, in the mainstream society, there has to be the teaching of this fundamental thing that every human being who is part and parcel of that society, he will have to be taught hundreds of very important things. Now, usually, these hundreds of very important things were supposed to be taught to you by the religions in the catechism classes, in the Balavihar satsangs in India, where they teach the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, they teach you all of that. And what is the essential nature of this teaching? It's life lessons. It's about you, and it's about the divine, and it's about what life is all about. And you don't learn these sitting in an academic classroom at the feet of a professor. You don't do it. But you do it sitting at the feet of a religious teacher or in scripture classes, something like that. But these are life lessons. And so come to the threshold of life. You're 20 years old, and you're going to get into the rough and tumble of life. And you need to have a good understanding of yourself, and you need to have an intuitive understanding of the divine, and some understanding of what life is all about. And that all of that will deepen as you go along, but you need to have some rudimentary things. So now, if you think that you are entirely only your body, then you may become too proud that you're good looking, or you may be so stupid that you may think that I want to be 6 feet tall, and or I want to be only 5 feet 4 inches tall, some such stupid thing. And so you define that as the norm for some reason that society seems to be approving of that more. And therefore, you're not self-accepting of yourself adequately in terms of the divine architecture of the body, divine architecture of the intellect, the emotions, the spiritual thing. And the truth is, this is very tragic, because you're not any of these things. The body, the intellectual sheath, the emotional sheath, you're not any of these things. These are basically winter garments that you're wearing, one on top of the other, and they don't define you at all. They are just there as appendages or vestments to protect the incarnation of the divine, as it has decided to take this particular form in a temporary manifestation. And you got to, I say that you have to accept 7 billion physical sheets, not just yours, but 7 billion physical sheets of the whole of humanity, 7 billion intellectual sheets of the whole of humanity, 7 billion emotional sheets of the whole of humanity, because none of this is the real divine essence. The divine essence has no name, it has no form, it is colorless, it is propertyless, and it is a very strange, intangible giver of life, giver of life, the source of life, and you're that. You've got to go so far. And as I said, if you have been given an inkling of all this in the scripture classes, whichever religion you belong to, you can be a Christian, you can be a Hindu, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Jew, then you already, through your religious exposure, you've got some idea about these things. And then slowly, by attending other spiritual classes, you can start digesting that I am straying away from my real essence, and these are not so important, and you will move towards the truth. And you've got to go so far, and you've got to discuss all of this, including your very prejudiced opinions and prejudiced inferences with a whole lot of other people, because they may exorcise the ghost of those suppositions. You may not be able to exorcise them, but a good friend may be able to exorcise.
Thank you very much for that. Maybe in the next capsule, I want to ask you more about that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sandraji.